Just count me down.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Dragonlaw Gaming presents another Let's Talk video with Carnifex. We have Carnifex from Nerd This here with me today. The Sir Nobody, you are here. Welcome, everybody. We are going to be talking about sim tickets. Sim tickets, big controversy today. Sim tickets, sim tickets, sim tickets. Look, I even created a free-to-play account. Look at this. Here we go. I got a free-to-play account, trying to see what the hell's going on here. Everybody, if you are not already aware, screwed up big time today. Took a good pounding from the internet community because frankly I wasn't paying attention, and that's on me. If you've seen any of my two videos today, you know right away that I was not really on top of the sim ticket thing. I thought it was fixed. I thought, hey, great, no controversy, yay. No, screwed that up completely screwed that up, and I take that onus. I take full responsibility for that screw up. However, I do not, and I am onus, yeah, I take full responsibility. But I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, I am very unapologetic of the idea if you can't pay $1 to this game, then you're really not supporting. Now, I do feel that way. I know that's the kind of a harsh way to put it. My stance is a little bit softer than that in all actuality. The Sir Nobody very first comment hit it up. He just said, just what I needed, something to watch in the background while I manually battle through all my energy. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm truly sorry that has happened to you and other free-to-play players. I actually, as my video suggested, I feel like, look, if you're gonna play free to play, right? There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that they've taken this autoplay feature away from you and put it behind a small paywall, I think it's unfair. Truly, I do. But I also want to say that suck it up, pay $1, let's move on. I think it's just not that big of a deal. I truly don't think it's that big of a deal. But I'm being told I'm wrong. And if we look at my comment section, if we look at my downvotes, I got Carnifex here with me. He put out a video. He's got some great points. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to put out a video. Zeri's going to come on and we're going to talk to him and they're going to show me where I'm wrong. And I'm okay. Look, if I'm missing this, guys, I'm more than willing to listen. That's what we're doing today. We're going to do a little bit of, 30-minute kind of talk show style here. I want to hear your comments. You guys comment in the sections. I'll read your questions. We'll ask your stuff. Carnifex and I are going to talk and we're going to share our ideas and our views on this. And we're going to have an open dialogue. But I want to start off by telling you guys, look, you free-to-play players, I know I'm not the one looking out for you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not. I'm a whale in this game. Carnifex is a whale in this game, right? I am. I mean, I'm not looking out for you. I don't write guides on free to play. I don't. Zeri does that, and he's great at it, and we love him for it. But you guys know this, right? I write guides on how to whale. I write guides on how to spend your money effectively. I write, right. Right. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's much more free to play friendly than I am. But me, I don't tend to do that because I play the game from my perspective, and my perspective is I have a $2,000 account. Okay, I do. I have a $2,000 account that I play. I play it, and I play it from my perspective, and so these things don't bother me at a $2,000 account. But when you're free to play, and I want to make sure this is very clear, when you're free to play, you don't want to spend all your time like Sir's doing right now, auto battling or simming through or sitting there making, you don't want to do that. And I get that, and I'm with you on that. However, my ultimate point is if you're not willing to spend the dollar, and if you don't have the dollar, truly, if you don't have it, I understand. Okay, that I get it. But if you don't have the dollar, that's one thing. But if you have the dollar and you're simply standing on the principle that I had something, now you've taken it away, and now I'm not going to pay you, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. I truly, truly do. Right? I truly, truly do, because this game is not worth this game is so good and it's so much fun to play, right? And it's going to be amazing when Battlegrounds comes out. I cannot tell you, Battlegrounds, when it gets fixed, it's going to be so streamable, it's going to be so much fun. Carnifax and I are going to team up, and we're going to get somebody else, and we're going to try to whip people. It's going to be fun, right? Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, Carney. You're not getting any voices? Oh, sorry, Carney. I've had you muted. I apologize. Thanks, Cordy. Go ahead and start. Let me. I apologize. I'm trying to get back in the swing of all this. I really do apologize about that. He was doing such a good job. He was doing such a good job too, and it's on me. This is all on me. He was in it. So why don't we do this real quick? Why don't we back up? We're getting more viewers in. I am sure you guys know what's going on, but for you who don't know what's going on with the sim tickets, you guys can hear me. Right? But if you don't know, let's just recap it real quick. Carnifax, go ahead and give us the scenario, run it down for us while I play my tournament here, and you guys can see me try to get to the. Yeah, you're right.
For sure.
Try to run up to number one
basically, here. Yesterday we got the announcement, hey, new update's gonna come out and blah 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 blah. And one of the little bullet points to it was that they're getting rid of auto tickets, and it's gonna be a premium feature now to auto loot. And that was it. That was it in the little excerpt. And a couple people just kind of they pinged Lizard Breath and asked what's a premium feature, blah blah blah. And people figured out, wait, there's no more auto tickets, and you're not going to have this new auto loot button if you've never played anything for the game. And so a lot of the people were like, wait, this line means I'm not going to be able to auto as a completely free to play person anymore. And everyone's just wait, what? So that kind of blew up, and it's been 40 hours of just a lot of heat in the Discord. And also there's been heat in the test server stuff too. I mean, we have people on the test server who are full on 100% free to play, and we have people who are kind of on whales and are more sympathetic, and whales who are kind of it's a dollar, it's a dollar. I think the main thing that for me prevents me from saying I'm totally okay with the tough love perspective is that it was a part of the game already and it's being taken out. If it was something where, hey, before all of these team comps, right? Where you have preloaded team comps that you can save. If that had been released but said, hey, we're releasing it, but only if you've ever paid any money in this game. If you've ever paid any money in this game, you're gonna get team comps. I would have been fine. Okay, I think this gives people's real competitive advantage, and Battlegrounds is coming up, but I mean, that's what we pay for. People pay for is competitive advantage. If it had been basically anything new, I'm like, that's no different from anything else. The real problem for me is that it was there. People invested a lot of time, right? If you're not paying any money, otherwise paying money doesn't matter. But if you've never paid any money, you put a lot of months in being told this is kind of like your base level uh experience you're gonna have, and then now that's being reduced further. And that's the part of it that like
So
gives leaves me a little
so
funky.
tell me then, and I think that you're making a good point. I really do. I think you're making a good point, but tell me how that argument then doesn't extend into an argument where I had Soleus and I worked really,
Yeah.
really hard for Soleus. And then Zera comes out and completely wrecks my Soleus. And now I'm
Right.
mad because you released a character that people could pay to get and level up because they could,
Hmm.
and now my Soleus isn't worth what it was.
Your Soleus is still good against other Soleuses. It's like
Right.
it's
To
that's
me, it's the
I
same
hear it.
kind
I
of
hear what
thing.
you're saying.
It's the same
And
argument.
the other thing,
The
well, the
value
other
of
thing too is
the
like,
value of what I had, so as a free to play player, right? The value of what I had has now been diminished because I can no longer auto play. I can no longer auto play. I have
and
to
it's the
go into a
time that it
battle,
adds
yeah, and it adds time, right? So what is
so much
money?
time,
What is time? Money. What is
right?
money?
Yeah.
It's time. So the idea here is there are all these new metas, right? So we get angry every time they change the meta on us, which we were upset when the Soleus meta was there and now we have a demon meta,
Forever.
right?
It was for forever, like
Right?
six
But
months.
if they changed it every 3 months, wouldn't that lower the value of our accounts? Wouldn't it
Yes,
lower the amount of the
well,
value of money that I get?
no,
Wouldn't
it
well it
wouldn't.
kind of, well it
In my
does.
in my opinion, it wouldn't.
Well, it causes me to spend more money in the game to be able to maintain the value of my account,
But
right?
not nearly to a degree that other games do. Like if I look at Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes right now,
But
it's like
that's my point. That's my
the
point.
new
We're
characters
talking
drop
about a
500
dollar.
bucks.
We're talking
Oh
about going
yeah,
from
yeah.
free to play to spending $1
Yeah.
and you're still practically free to play. And this is kind of
This ask is
right
this ask,
is so
and I
small.
don't mean to like offend anyone by saying this. The ask that they are making is a joke. It is
Right.
the
But
the
follow my
the
train of
amount of
thought though.
people that have
I
not
know I'm a
visited
lawyer. I know I'm a lawyer and I'm a little dumb sometimes, but follow my
you
train of thought.
scumbag. No.
Right, that's right. Follow my train of thought here because the value of the free to play account has been diminished now because it now takes more time for them to
Right,
achieve the goals that they would have been able to achieve with their free to play account, right?
right.
If this the same thing goes when the meta changes for whales. The same thing goes because when the meta changes, the whales like you and I have to then spend more money to keep up, right? So the value of our
Yeah,
account goes
but I will
down when the meta changes. And we're okay with spending the money because we're spending the money anyway. So the difference comes down to, at least in my opinion, that free to play players want to play for free and they want
right, and
everything for free when
well, and I
we're not
and
getting
to com
everything for free.
right, no,
It
and I wanna and to compare, right, like, in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes right now, if you are not, like, paying, like, 500 bucks a month, you're not even getting to, like, play the new stuff, really. Even if it is the ask that they're making of the whales is, like, 500 times greater than the ask they are making for the free to play to make in this game. For the people who are like, "Oh, you're like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes," I understand kind of like the flavor of that you're putting on, but this is there's no competition. There's no competition between like, oh, who's like worse to their player base.
oh yeah, they're awful.
These there are some times where it we feel like the devs listen to us more on certain things than others, and hey, it's like their game and we're trying to help out as much as we can with things, but it's their game. They get to make that call, and frankly I don't put in half the work that they do on this in order to put it together, so that's not crazy. um but for all the people who are making, I'm like, no, let me get some reality check for you. If you're not dropping $500 to like Shard and Rune, or yeah, Shard and Gear, and all that stuff. A new
Relic.
character that literally utterly disrupts the meta. It's not like
Right.
more Doom where like, oh, it kind of changes the meta. You still have a couple options that you've probably already built with. Like completely changes it. If you don't freaking Relic Rose Tico
Right.
and then pay everything to like 6 Zeta, whatever, like Galactic Legend, like oh my
You
gosh.
had to
so
Relic
build
6
and
Rose Tico, and she wasn't for the event. Never mind. I'm aware. I'm very much aware of all the stuff over there. That's kind
That
of
was
why
the
I'm
real
like,
middle finger of that.
like
She was never even
she,
required.
you didn't
by
even
any-
required. Not even required. So Sir just said something that I thought was really, really well done, and I'm going to read it out loud. It says, as a free-to-play player, you expect new characters to come into the game, and you expect to potentially have to wait for them. You don't expect features to go away. I agree with you. And as someone who played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes primarily as a free-to-play player, and the
Me
only
too,
reason
yeah.
why I did that is because every time I spent money on that game, I felt like I was getting ripped off. Like, if you
Yes.
ever wanted to feel like you got bent over, like the very first time I sat
money.
down and I
Yeah,
went, you
spend
know what,
money
I have $200, and I feel like I'm going to spend $200 on this game, and I did, and I got nothing for it. It gave me nothing. It didn't help me, progress in the game. It didn't help me do anything. I literally just flushed
share
$200 down the drain. Right.
My early free to play middle finger in Star Wars Galaxy of Hero was, so remember, really, this is really early. Luminara Unduli was one of the big characters you wanted for Arena because her heal was pretty solid. She had ability block,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was at 75 shards for her out of 80 to unlock. And I had saved up for one of like the guaranteed like character unlock packs.
Mm-hmm.
Want to know who I got
Who?
as my guaranteed character? Luminara Unduli.
Unduli.
So
Yeah.
I got 5 shards. In addition to all these other like random crap shards, like Star Wars Galaxy is terrible. So
right.
that's
yeah.
that's kind of like the big things I want. That I just want people to see. I don't like hate the devs because of this decision. Like that is so far from what it is. Probably, based on what the metrics of that I've seen in various games, probably about a third of this community is currently looking at the inability to sim matches. About a third of the community. And because of the stubbornness of the free to play to never spend, that they actually provide kind of a foundation of sorts for the game, because again, they're the people that the minnows beat up on, and then the fishies beat up on them, and the dolphins beat up on them, and the whales beat up on them, and the krakens eat everyone. And
Right.
if it was just fishies at the bottom, they'd swim away. But no, you have these obstinate, I will never pay, and that's okay, like free to play at the bottom there, and they like prevent all of that from escaping underneath. And I genuinely think that's how these games play out in a very real way. In terms of player retention, and because this change results in so much extra time invested, I would have to imagine that it probably at minimum adds an hour just because of not being able to sim. That's time, man, especially if you haven't finished Tower yet, because at that point now you're playing this game minimum like 2.5 hours, bare minimum every game. If you're climbing Arena at all, this isn't even counting tournament. We're talking practically a 3 to 4 hour gameplay time if you haven't cleared any of that stuff yet. I would have loved to have seen them at least pair this announcement and this change with like,
It's about to
hey,
get loud up
we're
in
all
here.
really,
Everybody chat.
like,
Family just got
I have
here.
to pee so bad.
you're fine.
Why don't you tell everybody on the internet you got to pee so bad, babe?
I'm sorry. I'm in the video.
Yeah, we're live. We are live.
Hi, everybody. I have to pee so bad.
That's my beautiful wife, everybody. That's my beautiful wife. And here's okay. So, XMG, you just asked a really interesting question. Is there going to be a game if people walk away from the community and don't come in? Free to play is a huge community in any mobile game. Here's the thing, that may be true, but here's how I feel about it. And here's what I did. As I was telling people earlier, I created a free to play account. Right earlier today, I just just created it. And my remembrance of playing this game, right, was I came into the game going, oh, this is very interesting. I've been playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I just had gotten screwed. The Malak event had come around for the third time. I had watched Arnold. Shout out to Arnold T101. Love your videos, bro. I watched his thing, and he made a guide on how to beat the event, and here's what you needed to do. So I went and I spent $100 to level up my characters to where he had them, get them ruined, get them not relic, but ruined out, modded out and that sort of thing. And then I went in and I tried to do it, and I couldn't. I could not do it. And that's when I quit. And I was started already playing this game, but I was playing this and going, wow, this is a really fun game. And then I remember not being more than like an hour or two into the game where I'm not autoing anything, right? I haven't autoed a single thing. And the next thing I get the first Freezard package. And I remember it being like $1.99. Maybe it was a little bit more, $2, something like that, right? And I went, $2? Sure. And I had no idea. At the present time, I had no idea that I was going to spend $2,000 on this game. No way I thought that. But I went $2. No, she knows. She does our bills. Nobody. I didn't know, but I put it in and I went, wow. Look at this character. I read through the kit and I went, this character's good. And at the time it was like, I bought it. I got 4-star and then I got the pack that came afterwards. I was like, oh, look, I can up him to 5 stars. And has anybody noticed that star count in this game doesn't necessarily matter? Right. Right now, the star count doesn't really matter. A 5-star Zera, Zera does just as well as a 7-star Zera in a lot of cases. I mean, they do pretty dang well. Gear in this game is so much more important than star count. But I didn't know that back then, but it was still really good. Right? It was still really good. And that was enough. That would have been enough. I would have never had an issue with autoing. I would have never known anything. Yeah. And that's coming into the game now. And I think people still are going to have that experience. They're going to come in, they're going to look. If it's someone who says, I'm never going to spend a dime on a mobile game, well, that person's going to look at this game and go, you're right. I'm not going to come in and play this because I can't auto and that sort of stuff. But they may not know the difference. Right now, the people this affects is the Sir Nobodies who Sir, I've talked to you a good bit. I know you're free to play. And, I should have thought about you probably before I ran my mouth off. But the fact is that I truly think that pay the dollar, man. I'd pay the dollar for you. I really would. Like, I really would. Yeah. I'd pay the dollar for you just to get it for you because there are certain people in our communities, all our communities, in the Dragon Champions community, where, look, if this is going to get you to quit paying the game, I got the dollar. You got the dollar. I'll pay it for you. I don't mind. I'll get you the auto battles. If that's what you want, you don't want to spend money, I'll send you a gift card. I got no problem doing it, right? Because I'd much rather, for me, it's not a principle thing. This is not a principle for me. Yeah. I love this game and it's so good that if people want to stand on principle, right, and go, well, I will never spend money on a mobile game. Well, maybe you should just stop mobile gaming. Don't mobile game. Right, because you're not. I will it's not a good idea.
Besides the games like Raid and Summoner's War, which are more built on autoing, and it's like building an autoing team is like literally one of the main things you do at all in those games. Like the energy consumption rate is just so much faster. It's not in this game. It's a lot more obstructive, and kind of like Sir was saying there just now. Like he's not even concerned about the time to manually battle, just the monotony of it. It's this game does not work, in my opinion, without the auto battle tickets. You could say, well, then that's a really effective stick, isn't it? Like to whip people into making a purchase. And yeah, again, to me too, I'm like, gosh, honestly, if there was like if one of the peeps I was really close to in my guild was like, I think I'm gonna leave because I really can't afford to put this dollar on. First of all, ain't nobody who never put a dollar in a GNL. But also,
I'm pretty sure the G stands for, I don't know, something in some language that means spend money.
I cannot pay this dollar. I will send you that dollar.
I need to
really.
Truly. How many people in my community? How many people in my community? Now I know, like, I pissed people off today. I have.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And
I probably somehow managed to piss people off with my
I'm-
video, even though it was way more
yeah,
like
Uh,
pathetic than yours.
right. I know I've made you mad, and I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I really am not. What I am saying is that, look, developers need to make money. These guys, I see a lot of comments. I was reading through Reddit and that sort of stuff. They're being greedy. They're not getting rich over $1. Like, I realize
No.
if this game has 200,000 players and everybody pays $1, right? That's $200,000. That's probably enough for them to get Battlegrounds off the ground and pay their people, maybe.
Well, even
for a little
aside
bit.
from the only people that are even going to pay this $1 are, again, this third of the community. Like a third of this community actively. I don't know what the actual number is, but it's not 200,000. Like, it's not. And so the question that to me is like, did you see who posted in our guild chat of who got 29,000 Dracoins?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and a lot of people talking. I got 15, 14, 15, 14.
How many did you get?
Everyone's like over 5. 5's like the lowest I've heard.
Yeah, I
and
had 50. I had 55.
You had
5,500.
Okay, so that's
roughly.
like as low as I've heard. Our 4 guilds, the 4 GNL guilds, just got handed $6,000 US at least.
Yeah.
If
people want to look, if people want to bitch
was.
about that, like, seriously, if you want to bitch about that, I'll get behind you.
Well,
Like,
no, honestly, because at least that's fair and disparate. Like, not disparate. It's hey, you know, however many tickets you had to get that back.
8K. Zeri says it was 8K worth.
Like,
$8,000
yeah, well,
was
I
given.
feel like that was actually a generous move. I feel like that was almost like a make good situation on their part, and that's all getting lost. Like, there's no way in crap that Star Wars Galaxy Heroes would have just taken that crap away from you and been like, "You're welcome. We gave you something to replace it." If they had given us a 100-to-1 ratio, I wouldn't have complained. And if they'd given us a 10-to-1, you know, if you'd gotten 550 Dracoins, would you have felt like you had gotten like taken or anything?
Nope, I would not have.
No,
not at all.
And would you have felt almost as much goodwill as you would have, like, as you do now? Because
I
you
don't
didn't
know.
you were going to get 10 times that amount. I would have felt.
I would
like
have.
maybe a notch down on a scale 1 to 10 better about it. And I'm just like, I don't understand why they were so generous with it. And it doesn't make sense to me that if they're trying to like increase like the broaden the revenue stream, I was like,
Armus got
you just gave a
19K.
massive whale 30,000 Dracoins right before you release artifacts. Like,
Right.
maybe there's someone who has like all the spending statistics stuff that I don't have, but I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot. That to me, I'm like, they lost so much net revenue from just doing that. Again, from GNL alone, easy $6,000 that people don't have to spend anymore.
Right. Well, and I'm looking at some of the comments. I'm looking at some of the comments on my, on my video, on my videos and that sort of stuff. And some of them are really, really interesting. And like one here, Greg says, not everybody got auto battle tickets converted to drag coins. Not only those who bought something got the conversion. My understanding, Greg, if you're listening to this or if you watch this, that everybody got the conversion. If you did not get your 200 auto battle tickets, if you didn't get those in your mail, you needed to put in a ticket with the developers because everybody should have gotten that. He then goes on to say some other things, and you and I talked about this before we went on the air tonight, but he says, however, if the devs want to make this a subscription game, then it's their right to do so. Now, I play this game almost as if it's a subscription game because I pay $15 a month. I'm assuming you pay the same $15 a month that I do.
I played MMOs. Those are usually like $15-20.
Yep. And so I play 15. Yep, my puppies are getting all excited. But he goes on and says, however, they placed the word free there a few times in the App Store, but that's no longer true. It is still free, guys. And so let's not get too hasty now. And then he says the thing that boggles my mind, and I would love to get the community's reaction on this, because he says I am perfectly fine with mobile games as pay to win, quote unquote, as it has been a viable business model for years, but pay to play is a completely different story. I couldn't disagree more with that statement, because for me, pay to win, if I thought Dragon Champions was a pay to win game, right? Like if you had to win, you had to pay, like, then I would quit. Now, I have paid and I do win, as I said to you earlier, but I don't feel like to get through all the content, to do the raid, like, you don't have to pay. You could be a free-to-play character, free-to-play person, or be in a guild where you're free-to-play and other people are playing, and you'll probably get plenty. But I played this game when mobile titles first started coming out. It was way back in the day. I'm a huge Dragon Age Origins fan, like Dragon Age. They had this Dragon Age mobile title that I think was trying to be like this. It was one of the first iterations. The problem with the game is that you could only get to like the third level or so, or fourth tier, I don't remember. It was very low. And if you didn't spend money, you couldn't pass it. And that was, I didn't think that was okay. It didn't matter how much time you invested into the game, you were never going to get past it until you paid. I don't like that. And that's what pay to win means to me. I always look at everything in the terms of value. When I play Dragon Champions, as I've said several times, I have a $2,000 account roughly, maybe a little bit more than that. I spent most of that in the first 3 months of playing. I've only spent $300 or so in the last 6 months. So that tells you, like, my initial investment paid off so much that I've had to spend very little to keep up. Right? And so maybe the model that the developers are doing right now is not the best model to gain more money, because even people who are willing to spend, like you and me, are not having to spend as much now, but they are getting a constant revenue stream. So, but I feel like it's pay to play, but I'm not having to pay to win. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And so
I think it depends on what someone means by pay to play. So like pay to play is like, in a way, there's no free option. Like, and then pay to win is like different, because it's, hey, you can play and you can, but for free, but you won't be winning really. I think that's kind of the inflection of that there. So like pay to play would be more like it's a $2 app, which, like, people brought up a lot of things saying, like, if it was a $2 app, this wouldn't be like deceptive. And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately they can't like go retroactively back on that. But yeah, no, that's true. And that's kind of like, it's the upfrontness of it that I wish was different.
Well, and
but,
Dave makes Dave makes a good point.
At the point they've done it. And the other thing that I really want people to kind of like get is, if this is like, oh my gosh, my trust has been so lost that it'll never recover with this development team, I need to find another game. Like, prepare to get your heart broken by someone else. This is still way, 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 way less severe than any stuff I've seen in another game. And
Right.
And so you can either spend a lot of time not finding another game as generous, or you can give it at least a few days. Like the date to me that I think is going to be interesting to pay attention to is June 1st. How many day one battle pass purchases are there? I feel like that has to be one of the metrics they're paying a lot of attention to as they look at what happens after this decision.
Not to be a dick here, but the free-to-play people weren't going to pay for it anyway.
Well, right, but then how much have they potentially negatively impacted the perspectives of those who did?
Well, and that's kind of what I'm saying. So, chat, real quick. We got 20 people in chat right now, and I know we have a mix of free-to-play players, and we have a mix of people who have paid money in this game. Does this affect? I wish I had the ability to do a poll. Like, I know you know how to do stuff like that. I don't know how, but I'm curious. Are you going to buy the battle pass or not? Is this one of these things where it hurts you so bad in your principles? And if you feel this way, like truly, I know my video was sensational today, but I was being sensational on purpose. Okay. But sincerely, I mean this. if you hold a conviction that they shouldn't take things out of the game that you've either paid for or you were getting and put it behind a paywall, and you feel so strongly about that you want to quit, I support you. I truly do. But how many of you are actually going, I'm going to walk away because they're now requiring you to pay $1 to get auto tickets or to be able to auto battle?
Well,
if that number's huge, I'm wrong. As like today, I will come in and I'll say I'm wrong, and I'm in the minority here, but I'm wondering, is that really the case? What do you think?
Yeah. Me, I usually don't day one battle pass anyway. Just because I feel like I'm not quite getting anything until like about a week in anyway.
Oh, I have it as a part of my budget, right? So because I plan on spending, it's one of the things that I have on my budget list. It's a monthly bill that comes out on the 1st, right? Because it's the battle. I just pay it because I'm gonna get it either way. So I just put it in my budget and it's gonna come out. So the $10.99 is gonna come out on the 1st. And whether I purchase it or not, it always comes out of my account that way. And then in the middle of the month, because I started the game in the middle of the month, that's when my other $5 comes out. That's how I do it. And
I mean, Battle Pass
Chris, our new player's gonna buy the Battle Pass though? Probably not. Like,
when I did my top 10 values in the game, literally Battle Pass was the top thing. I mean, it's whenever you do the math on all the stuff that you get out of it, it's certainly more than the monthly sub, but it is also proportionately more valuable than the monthly sub. And
I'm going to pull up the Battle Pass. Since you're talking about that, let's look at it, right? For this month's Battle Pass, right? The things you got for free: 50 drag coins of Count Delman. Anybody think he's going to be any good? He might be.
Yeah.
Death Mark, right? A Death Mark mechanic?
He'll be good.
I think he's going to be really good. Now, have I bothered to level him up or do any of that? No. Will I?
11,
I know. I saw you Gear 11 him. I know you have him up. I didn't bother. Not yet, because I'm not sure yet. Right? But 507 drag coins, 1 million credits or 1 million coins. Right? Well, look at all these. I mean, this is good stuff for $10, right? For $10, and you're going to hit these no matter what. You're going to get a ton more. You're right.
Tax, right? Yeah, 13 with tax, whatever it is. Yeah.
Is there tax?
You get 2 million. I did a full breakdown of this in one of my videos. In my video right at the top.
You act like I watch your videos. No, I do.
Look at the value of the amount of drag coins you get.
Yep.
It's like $10 in drag coins a minimum. I'm just spitballing. It's like a little over $10 in drag coins. The amount of blue scrolls you get, basically taking a percentage of the ability scroll pack that comes out. Literally between those two things alone, you have already paid for it. It's crazy. We haven't gotten to any of the blue gear, the purple gear yet. That's really great from that.
Well, and it's really
to any
good.
Of the 4-star purple runes, which cost 1.2 million gold in the shop. And whenever you do the conversion on that, even if you do the $5 pack for that.
Hey, don't forget the 20 page boots, right? Because you know how much energy you got to spend just to get one page boot.
You know what? Free to play. Do you realize how many auto battles you're gonna save? Not having to get those page boots?
Right.
I'm kidding. It's incredible value.
Right.
Seriously, there's not like the monthly sub in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes was a joke compared to that.
Correct.
And I did that for a few months before they took that away. So
what do you guys think? Are you upset? I mean, going through here, Dave, you said something that I thought was really good. You said if DC was pay to win, I better be getting my choice of rune primaries and secondaries. Word. Like trust me, we have an entire channel devoted to showing off runes in the GNL channel. Now, I know that my GNL mates probably think that I'm really not a part of the game, part of the guild, because frankly, I actually troll it, but I don't really participate a lot, because I'm busy, and so I'm like. But I read it and I'm always going, and I'm like, how do they get such good stuff? Well, come to find out, I'm missing out on 200,000 credits every day. And I was farming. If we go into my account here, if you want to see the best rune I have, like the best rune I have probably is this northern potency rune with 12 speed. I think I have a 15 speed rune on
You have a
someone.
15. You got a
Yeah.
faster one than me.
I think I do. I think I have a 15 speed
track of
rune.
my odds when I was
Right.
rolling. I had terrible.
There it is. There it is.
terrible rates.
But look at it. Look at
You
it
don't
though.
even have it on a speed set. Go home.
I do.
You don't get to
No,
complain about
but look,
anything.
it's on shields, right? So it's on Kara. It's shields. I need it to be potency, and it's 15 speed.
potency's better,
right? But
for sure.
You know what? She's killing it for me. Like she's got like 220 speed.
Gosh,
So
what would they give?
right.
I feel like my highest speed on a speed set is
223 speed on my Kara. There's a reason right now where if you've been in my shards for tournaments and I'm up there, right, taking 1 through 3 on these tournaments is because because of that, because of Kara.
I just got
223
my
speed on
first
Kara.
14, and like all my good ones are on like I have like a purple armor south 4-star potency rune. So it's like armor primary, and it's got like 12 speed on it. I've got like a crit damage primary, like health set for like 12 speed. I have like the southeast, so it's like always a fixed primary anyway. That's like a 13 crit chance, and has some other good complementary secondaries. But I don't want to just complain about my runes for a while. But
I hear you.
yeah,
But I want to complain too. But then I look at like my Renara's 221 speed. My Ember's a 204, which is not great. But like my General Murdoch's 211, which could be better. But like my Mordoom's 245. Yeah, a lot of people have better runes than me, but I'll move them around. Like I'm at 208 on Zera. My hard orc sitting at 227. Right. I mean, this is the best I got. It starts to get real weak real quick. Like real weak. Slinger. Right. 206.
My best speed set potency primary is 5. Dead ass.
Right. Yeah, that's tough.
5.
Here's the thing, okay? And I
like,
said this.
Never put my pin again.
If we're gonna talk about trying to make money, all right, and developers, like I said, I love you, and while I'm okay with it because it's $1, and then truly that's really my issue. I get it. I get the arguments. I really do. You guys are convincing me that I should probably be more sensitive, but I get told that all the time. And that's probably a downfall in my own personality. I should be more sensitive. But if you want to talk about trying to make more money, right? Why didn't we get an event for him?
We are getting an event
No,
for
no.
him.
Last week.
Okay, it is.
Last week.
It's like, okay, honestly, it's down low confirmed that it's going to be concurrent.
I know that.
With the Thallon
but do you understand how that's... My point is that's
but
dumb.
More
like I'm
people who spent the dollars, not Dracoins, right, on buying him early, because it's like, hey, for like a couple weeks I got completely exclusive use, and there was even a tournament where it was really nice to be able to run goblins with him as a healer. So
sure.
I get it. Trust me, I'm the dude who's sitting on a ton of Dracoins now, and I'm like, give me Frank so I can spend them and get lots of shards. Like,
well, yeah, but they would have. But okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier, and you guys can tell me, because I'm sitting here in the shop and I'm looking at my bank, right? And here's where I'm at. And Dave was talking about this earlier. He said he was in the same spot as me, and with his account spent early, and then he's going to get Thalion and buff for no additional work at the moment. I'm actually hurting on pride. And I'm realizing real quick, do you know how many freaking I can't even think of what they're called because I'm so mad about it right now. I'm looking at my pride characters. It's so here's my pride, guys. I'm not looking good. I got Renara, Boreas,
rowers,
right?
Or...
It's these right here, shackles, the outcast shackles, right? Like it takes 3 just to get him to 10, which is going to be a pain.
Like 4 on
right?
the last stage alone of Salvador.
Yeah, yep, Salvador, and he's ready. I can do it, but this is what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, right?
And you're
but
gonna need
here's
4,
the thing,
and you're gonna need 4 on Thallon too to G11er.
Yes, I know, right? But look what I've done. I know I'm going to spend money. Like I know I'm going to, and so what have I been doing? Holding on to my bank. Right? Holding on to my bank. I did one right here during the Hera event. I bought this. That's what I did during the Zera event. I bought
Zera,
this,
yeah,
yeah,
top
Dira
rock. Yeah, I
Zera,
did the same
yeah,
thing.
just to top her up. I purchased this one, and that's all I
Yeah,
did to top her off
all I
because I
needed to
didn't
do.
need to. That's all I needed to do. I now have 10,000 drag coins. I- You know, 2 months ago, I had 20,000 drag coins and took my account from 700,000 to 1 million, right? Overnight. I- and I haven't spent any extra money. And so
Have you looked at Kiri yet?
I have,
The
I
gear?
did today. She's
It's
weird.
as bad as all the tanks, man. All the tanks are just so rough. Uh,
Yeah, and well, and I was worried about that too. I did look, you know, Zeri, we keep shouting you out, man, because you're doing such a great job, right? With I'm watching his videos on what I need to gear and that sort of stuff,
for
and I
Jelly
keep
and the
going.
1K,
Right,
man,
and I
he's
keep
there.
going. Well, I guess there's no content to create because he creates it all, and I'm like, good for him because I mean, I just watch your videos, and I'm like, I don't need to create content on any of this stuff. But yeah, no, seriously, it's ridiculous. But Dr. Frank was a cinch to gear. Like I took him to gear 11 the day I got
Oh
him,
yeah,
unlocked
good.
right up to gear 11, and he's a good character. Like I think he's going to be really good,
Yeah.
like really good.
Oh yeah.
Like he's the only character in the game that can restore shields. Like he restores shields
Well, there's a couple, but
to
yeah,
all
like
allies.
no,
Not,
no one,
and this is
no
a big
one,
deal
no
for
one
me right
did
now.
it like that.
It's the all thing, right? We have characters
Yeah.
now. We have characters that used to do like 5, right? 5 characters of 5 allies. Now all means something because you have all these
There's all
demons
summons,
or you
yeah.
have these summons, and so it's really, really like it's really good. And you're talking about restoring shields. I think that Dr. Frank's going to be a lot of fun. So Cure is at least worth the investment, though. Yeah, Dave, I think you're right. I think on paper she looks like she's worth the investment, but what's the point? Like tanks have lost all viability because of Mordin. I know we've kind of gone off sim tickets, which I'm kind of glad that we're nerding now,
Yeah,
and then
and
we're
that's
off
the
sim tickets. And we're kind of going on like MW. Oh yeah, don't even get me going on MW. I can bitch for a while on that one.
all the people who dropped like 6 keystones on Mega
Look what I
Wheel and
did.
now like
No, look what
comes
I did
out.
on Mega Wheel, right? I got him to gear 10,
Skip
and
the-
I'm ready to go. Like I was ready to
so-
gear 11 him. I was ready to gear 11 him, and I ran out of time. I ran out of time for the event.
4
I didn't do any.
keystones in his
Right.
gear 11. He's a 10.
Right. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, ugh. And that event during the event for the demons, I couldn't even get past the first one. No, of course not. Look at my demons, man. I didn't have Mega Wheel.
I put tips in there. People were able to do it.
Yeah, I wasn't paying. Well, and to be perfectly honest with you, I've been really sick. And people know that. And so I was not fully fully trying to push these through. Xantara here, like she's at gear 9. I kind of like, okay, I'll get it the next time around. I'm not terribly worried because what I want to do is I want to make sure I get all these big premium characters. Like Buff is going to change things. Leilana is going to be amazing, especially with her buffs. And so I think that I mentioned this in passing today, and I don't know about the rest of you. Well, removing the tags from summons is what is finishing and killing tanks. Tanks are just what's killing tanks is Mordoom and the ability to remove buffs. And this is why I think he's the best character right now in the game. What he does, his ability to remove 2 buffs, right? You have to have essentially run multiple tanks for him to not be super viable. He can lock somebody down completely. He never gets resisted, right? His potency is ridiculous, because of his demon synergy, right? He just never gets resisted. I mean, you look at, and I do have him set out pretty well when you look at my account, right? Crit damage, crit chance, accuracy, penetration, all those things don't really matter so much, but when you look at his potency, 61% potency, 245%, 245 speed, he's so good. And I'm frustrated by that change as much as I am frustrated by that sim ticket thing.
They needed to take away like the mage tag because of how she worked with how Red worked with Cruel.
Right.
But it's super easy, like for like the Wonderlula code and like the Kyra code like just where they invis anyone who isn't all people of like tactician and fighter or whatever. It's like just instead make it to invis anyone that isn't a defender. Unless you catch that defender tag, to them invis, and now done.
Right. Well, and let's look at it, right? What does it say? All healers, tacticians, and fighters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It says that. Just change it to all non-defenders. Like done. You're literally your problem is gone. Just like that.
It would be, but I'm not sure it would matter necessarily anyway, because these the demons are so fast. They're so fast. And you know,
yeah, and the turn
so fast.
Generation on Kiri. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering about Kiri too, just on paper when I look at her. Like she's gonna cycle through it so quick, but she can heal herself and give herself shields.
That's the point. Yeah.
And that could be cool. That could be really cool. Yeah, I'm interested. Or make Morn Doomies less tanky.
I think that's not a bad thing to consider too.
It's not a bad thing to consider.
I think it's just to change the coding. Let them be little blobs there, but if they get put in Viz, now you have to have tanks again, and
right.
So,
but
yeah,
we haven't had tanks in our meta for a long time, right? Because with the mage meta, right, with the Soleus mage meta.
Around.
No, well, what I'm saying is that the mage meta for a long time, like I remember putting out the video, like, look, you need to get your Soleus, and then you gotta get little baddie, because she just really makes that team. And then all of a sudden people were like, yeah, little baddie's good and she does well, but then Cruel just goes, nope, I'm gonna counter everything that you do. And then if you stick another DPS in that slot, now you're invising everybody. Let's just make your Soleus big and beefy so he can take a bunch of damage, and make him super fast so he'll sit there and heal. And so there's no reason to have a tank. And well, I guess what's the point of having a tank when it seems like you can make other characters just as beefy? And I don't know, there are issues with the game that are not the sim tickets. Sim tickets are just not the issue for me. Like, there are other things. Now, do I love Mord Doom? Absolutely. Is he amazing? Absolutely. If you don't have him, you should be getting him. He's almost more important than Soleus right now.
He's well for arena and tournament, for 100%, he's more valuable than any other character.
Yeah, just because he's just killing it. And well, in Battlegrounds is going to come out, and so the last thing I want to say about the sim tickets, and you and I mentioned this before, and I wonder, would people get upset if they made Battlegrounds something you had to pay for to get into? Just one time, right? If it were a $5 one-time fee to get into it, would you do it? Free-to-play players obviously would not. The whales would, but would everybody else? I think so. I guess I'm kind of an old school gamer. I think you and I have talked before. We're roughly this. I think I'm a few years older than you, maybe, right? But I'm used to buying console games. Right. I'm used to buying console games, and I was telling this to my wife earlier when I was trying to explain what the shit that I've gotten into with this. Right. I was like, look, I bought Modern Warfare, the game, the new game. I don't. Maybe you guys are playing it. Maybe you're not. If you are and you're playing it, you guys want to hook up Dragon Law Gaming. Let's play. But I play Warzone primarily, but I bought the game, the regular game for Xbox, right? I bought the game. I could be playing it free to play, just playing Warzone, and I pretty well primarily play only Warzone, right? But I bought it for $30 on a Christmas sale. And then Warzone comes out, and I played hours and hours and hours of it. I've spent no more than the $30 plus the battle pass one time, and I'm getting extreme value. And they keep adding stuff to the game. They keep adding content to the game completely free, right? But if they didn't, what if they said, okay, well, you got to pay, $10 a month every month to keep paying for it? I'd probably do it. I'd probably do it, right? But a lot of people are like, well, I deserve, or I'm entitled to free stuff. No, you're not. Like, I guess I come from that old MMO, World of Warcraft, EverQuest, Star Wars, Old Republic. I much rather pay for new raids and Battlegrounds than sim tickets access. I think that's true. But I wonder and that's what Sir said. And
Well,
if you
and
would,
this
great.
is something we were talking about before. You're about
Right.
like, here's the thing. Everyone who has not put anything in the game, like, I understand the people who do it as kind of like a personal achievement. I get that. I have no issues with that. There are people who spend shnikes tons on one account and then they have a free to play alt because they like that challenge of building it without, and they like to see that growth and feel more accomplishment doing that. That is not what I'm talking about whenever I say this. But like, for everyone else who's actually spending between all accounts zero money on the game is like, at some point, like, the ads basically pay for like server space. Like, if they're willing to kiss away ads for potentially someone spending $10, the ads are not worth that much. And if you have gotten to the point where you have spent 6 to 8 months playing this game and you still haven't bought anything, you've passed a lot of great deals.
Right.
You've passed how many monthly subs, multiple battle passes, all this stuff. And I get that not everyone has a lot of money to put on games like on a regular basis. But if you're like, I've put so many months in, I'm like, in my head, sometimes in life, this is like one of my little like words of wisdom things that I'll share with peeps semi regularly is like, sometimes you don't get to control what you're dealt, and you can have some degree of principle, and that's good, and you should have at least some degree of principle. At some point, even if it helps the person that you are not a fan of right now make the best decision for you. Be as bitter about it as if you want, as you want to be. But a lot of people are going to be better off just paying the dollar. Even
Right.
even if they don't feel 100% great about it whenever they do it, even if they feel like there's a risk that they're potentially making things worse, so what if like 3 to 4 months away it does make something worse in a way that it wouldn't have gone if you hadn't made that purchase. Again, this is coming from the guy who says this was not the call to make, this was not the way to do this. My communication to a lot of the community is do the selfish thing for you. Do
Pay
the
the dollar.
selfish thing and pay the dollar unless it's not possible, and in which case keep playing if it's worth it to you, and don't if it's not. That's like,
I
because
can't.
to me,
I can't agree with you. I can't agree
the
with you
selfish
any more than I
choice,
already do.
even if you don't get to feel like you're winning, is just to pay the dang dollar for whatever dollar thing they have waiting to come out. Because they have literally a dollar pack that's going to be released for people just to make this as easy a pill to swallow as possible.
Heck, if I were
You bet
them,
you could release Star Wars Frontiers not doing
if I were them, I would put out a pack that was insanely great value that you just can't pass up. Like something where you get 500 or 1,000 drag coins. Like sometimes they put these out. Like for example,
like the things, like the Black
yeah,
Friday
the
one.
Black Friday ones, yeah, stuff that just you got to spend it. You got to do it. Like if you're spending money at all in this game, you can't just pass it out. Christmas sale, the Black Friday sale, stuff like that. When they put out the new characters, like when they put out the new character packs, $5.99 for 50 shards or whatever, like I can't stop myself because they add 500 drag coins on it, and I look at it and go, I'm paying for the drag coins. Everything else is free. Right? That
Yeah.
well, you can't
just.
I can't not do it. I can't
Yeah,
not
well, no,
do it.
and look at like Dave just like basically walked into like the concluding statement of me is like, yeah, if you don't think a dollar is worth all the time you've spent,
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at when I was talking about Warzone, right? Warzone's one of these things where I'm getting extreme value at it. I spend way more time playing Warzone with my friends. I spend way more time playing Warzone than I do Dragon Champions. Even if you count the coverage, even if you count the battle testing, even if you count the access, I spend still way more time playing that game. I've spent $35 on Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I've spent $2,000 on Dragon Champions. right? If anybody feels like they've been fucked here, it's me, if I'm going to be honest, because I spend way more time playing the other game, and the value is so much higher. Like I get just the cost benefit ratio is just, yeah, it's just amazing. I get so much more return on my money. But I still, and this is true, honest to God, I have never regretted a single dollar spent on Dragon Champions. Not one dime. Not one time have I gone, man, I feel awful about making that purchase. Never have. And I have felt that way in other games, such as Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, because you buy something and you're like, oh, I brought Shore Trooper, he just came out, I bought his pack, and then you're like, oh, he's good, but he's not viable until 7 stars, and he's not, you got to gear him all the way up.
What takes health and shields to be valuable? What?
Right, exactly. And so, hey, that's kind of where I'm at. K9666 says it feels like most of their packs are really good value.
Yeah,
everyone,
and it's true.
It's the one thing they have over everybody. Like, and that's kind of where I'm coming at. Like, when this all kind of blew up, I know my video comes off as harsh because I look at this and I go, you know what, somebody's got to defend these guys. And coming from the criminal defense attorney, right? I go, these developers have given us a game that I think is better than Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which I think is better than Marvel Strike Force. I think their art is better. I truly believe that if Star Wars and Disney were to give this development team Star Wars, we would have a better game. We would have a better game. All of us who love Star Wars and Marvel universes, we'd have a better game. Both, and not to say Marvel Strike Force isn't good. I've never played it. It looks fantastic. I have a buddy who plays it, somebody in my office who plays it, and he loves it and he spends money on it and it looks cool. So I'm not trying to disparage any of it, but I love this game is great. And Battlegrounds, guys, I'm telling you, when they get it to work, it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to be amazing.
It's kind of like an announcement for this as well. This project, myself, oh, man, I don't want to leave anyone out. Dragon Law Gaming.
You want me to look
Zeri,
up? Hold on.
Zeri Mobile Gaming. For those of you guys, he's in here too. We got Mythics. We got Hell Hades and Starco Gaming right now. We're filling out the last 2. We are going to do a fantasy draft style like draft where we pick out Dragon Champions characters. We're gonna have limits like only up to 3 characters from each like race faction and stuff like that. And we're gonna take off, we're gonna put them at gear 11 and max abilities, take off their mods and auto them for bragging rights. There is still fun and happiness in this game, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I have a background in sports, and so I really get jazzed up about all that stuff. So I hope all y'all are looking forward to that.
Well, and everybody, tomorrow night, yeah, it's going to be so awesome, and I'm really going to enjoy it. I think we're going to go wrap this up. Let me look at a couple of these. I might be dating myself here, but I guess the idea of playing anything for free at any length of time seems foreign compared to saying when I played for an MMO. That's what I said, K9, exactly the same thing. Sir Nobody, he says, the time I spent on this game isn't spent for future reward or goal. It's because I enjoy the day-to-day gameplay. I don't lose the fun if I don't play $1, and that's perfectly fine. I think that's a perfectly legitimate way to play. I am sorry that this is happening to you guys, to the free-to-play players. I really am. I'm
glad I was able to bring you around on that at least a little bit.
No, I think in truth, I've always I felt bad about it, but the fact is like, look, pay the $1. If it were $10, like seriously, if it were $10, I'd be. For me, it's a matter of money. If it were $10, I'd be screaming to the hilt. My video would have been like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that they're gonna require you to pay $10 for a quality of life thing." Because I really do feel that way. Like when you said, right? When you said earlier, like if they would have put the preset options and behind a paywall, I had actually been mad about that. I would have been mad. That would have pissed me off. Even though I'm a pay to play player, I would have been mad because though I agree with Zeri, and we're gonna end this here in just a minute, as I know it's time to go. It's 8 o'clock. I want to go spend time with my wife. I'm sure Carnifax wants to go spend time with his wife. Tomorrow, XMG and I will be here again. We're going to discuss this issue. Him and I are going to discuss this. He said something today that I do fully agree with from his video. You shouldn't have to pay for quality of life. I agree with that, but I also kind of disagree if that quality of life doesn't give you a competitive advantage. I don't like pay to win. I like pay to play. I don't like pay to win. So what I think about is when I played Star Wars The Old Republic, they made it so you could pay real world money to have bigger stash space. Right? I thought that was fine because I wanted bigger stash space, and I'm more than happy to pay the $5 or $10 or whatever it was. But when it comes to like preset loadouts, like I really want to have preset teams. If you would have made me pay $1 for each one of those, I probably would have been upset because I don't feel like I'm getting any value for that. Because to be honest with you want to go see my preset teams, right? I don't have any. It's still on my main account. I still have 0 preset teams because that to me is not, I've gotten so good at just picking and choosing that it's not something that gives me quality of life. But that's completely selfish of me, okay? So got to keep in mind that a lot of my stuff comes from a place of how I play the game and how I view the game. It does not mean that the way you play the game and the way you want to do it is wrong. I know I was pretty strong in my video. I know what I said was, look, if you're bitching about paying $1, you're wrong. If you're bitching about playing $1, you're wrong, in my opinion. If you're bitching about them taking something away from you, your quality of life, and changing the game because you have a principle that you think that once something is established that it shouldn't be taken away, right? I respect that belief, but I'm going to have to ask you the question. I want you to think about this, and we'll come back tomorrow and talk with Zeri because this is going to be a big point him and I are going to talk about. For me, how is it any different when they nerf your favorite character? How is it different when they nerf the character? And this development team,
I don't care.
Right, but not sometimes they nerf. And this team does do that. They will nerf your characters. How do you feel in other games when things got nerfed?
Nerf was necessary. I don't know. I can't. I'm not hating on any of the nerfs that have happened so far. Wonder Lula was necessary.
Well, that was a bug and broken. She was broken, but she still does a ton of damage. Didn't you gear 11 her recently? I was pretty sure you gear 11.
I only barely did when we had that chain of bounty hunter.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought you did.
I was like, I'm gonna do it sometime anyway.
I didn't gear 11 her, but my gear 10 still smashes people. Like she's still probably the best single target DPS character in the game. And so she's so keep in mind, I'm going to beg the question. I'm going to leave this out. We'll come back tomorrow for another stream, another good talk. We'll have Zeri Mobile Gaming with us. My buddy, I should have thought about bringing you into this call. I kind of thought you weren't available. That's why I didn't even do it. We kind of threw it together. I was in the middle of texting you, and I was texting Carnifax.
Frustration. I was like, we're collabing.
He's like, let's do it now. And I went, okay. And then we talked for like 45 minutes, and then we decided the live stream format and that sort of thing. So I really do appreciate you all out here. If you're watching this as as just kind of a podcast sort of thing, if you're watching this, it's going to be posted on the channel in its entirety. If you're watching this and you are new around here, hit that subscribe button. Go to Carnifax's channel, Nerd This. I'm going to post a link in the description below.
Subs.
He just hit 500 subs. That's so awesome. We're gonna go ahead and give him the love. I know I've lost subscribers today. I'm okay with that. I get it. I'm gonna drop Zeri's Mobile Gaming, the XMG in the house. I'm gonna drop him in the description as well, so you guys know where to go to get all these great coverages, great things. And for one last programming note, right? If you're looking for a great free to play guide. If you're looking for a great free-to-play guide, you're definitely, XMG's got your back. If you're looking for the great if you're looking for just absolutely great insight on math and value and all that nerd shit, right? Your nerd this has got you. You know, Carnifex has got you.
Yes,
And if
we
you're
are-
just
we are
looking,
over-
if you're looking to be entertained, I'm here. Like I basically, I got nothing. I'm just a lawyer, guys. I just like to talk and give my opinions, and for the most part, you guys like them. But today, apparently, you know, not so much. But it's okay. I really do appreciate everyone around here. Carnifex, thank you so much. Congratulations, my friend, on getting married. Hope you and your wife the best. My wife and I just celebrated our 14th wedding anniversary this May,
Congrats.
and so I wish you the best going forward. Zeri, I look forward to talking to you tomorrow, my friend, and I'm looking forward to our collabs and doing more of this in the future. Do you have anything you want to say before signing off?
Nope, that's it. Just yeah. If you like nerdy numbers crap, you know where to find me. But if not, you're in a good home. So no worries.
All right, guys. Well, we really do appreciate everybody around here. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. It's really good to have you in the chat. Sir Nobody, it's good to see you again. Daith, you've always been great. Armis, it's good to see you too. These are people that have been supporting from the beginning. XM, of course, Nerd. Yeah, you guys. You know, Chris, thank you for being here. Shakener, thank you so much, man. Cordy, I did see you in here. I didn't shout you out, man. Thank you so much for being here as well. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't leave anybody out who made a comment today. I think I got everybody. I really do appreciate all your time, support, and love. And we will see you next time when gaming and the law intersect.
Hey, that was fun.